Greetings, class. This is Dr. York-Hammons, and this evening I'm going to go through a practice quiz, show you how to copy and paste data into StatCrunch when you're taking a quiz, and then saving the sessions and uploading them in Dropbox to show your work for the test. So you're on your course home. You've logged into D2L. You're at your course home. Now, often this news bar extends way down the page. And you'll notice there's a little drop-down arrow here that allows me to collapse news. So I'm going to click on that. And when I do that, the Pearson widget pops up where I can see it without having to read all the news content. So I'm going to want you to click on Pearson and go to My Stat Lab Course Home. Since you won't be able to open your data in StatCrunch from the quiz, you've got to open StatCrunch before you ever take the quiz. So click on StatCrunch, visit the StatCrunch website, and open StatCrunch. Now, this tab is no longer necessary, so we can close it, but you still have a StatCrunch tab, and this is your course home page right here. So I'm going to go back to my course home, and now I'm ready to log into my quiz and take the practice quiz. So I click on Quizzes and Tests, and you'll notice there's the practice quiz that's going to get you ready for exam 1. When you look at the practice quiz, this is the one that I'd like for each of you to practice, and I will give you extra credit on your quiz, chapter 2 quiz for doing that. But I'm going to go through it with you. So we're going to click on the practice quiz. I'm going to click till it opens. There we go. And it wants a password. When you take your Unit 1 exam, the testing center will have the password for you. For this particular quiz, the password is practice, just like you see the word above the box. I'm going to type a capital P, R-A-C-T-I-C-E. So capital P, R-A-C-T-I-C-E for practice. And I'm going to click OK. I do not want it to remember that. I don't know if yours pops up like that. I'm going to click I'm ready to start. And the first question comes up. There are 2 questions on this little practice quiz. Now, there is data here. There are 35 data elements in our set here, and we're going to want to construct a frequency distribution and a frequency histogram. But when I click on the little boxes, I don't have the option Open in StatCrunch available to me in either quizzes or tests. So I have to copy to clipboard. When you do that, you'll see that the comma delimiter pops up and all your data is in blue. If it's not in blue, then you need to click on the data and copy it. To copy the data, simply do Control-C and click Done. And then I'm going to try to scoot this over, and I'm going to try to scoot StatCrunch over so you can see both of them in one screen. So I'm in StatCrunch, and I do Control-V, and you can see the data. I'm going to move this in so you can see that I scroll down, and there indeed are 35 data elements in that set. My sample size is 35 for my sample set. Now I want to create a frequency distribution, but for us it's easier to do the frequency histogram, which will tell us the frequencies if we set the starting at 1 and increasing from 1 to 2 is a width of 1. So go to Graph, Histogram. We're going to look at the data in var1. It is a frequency graph. The bins start at 1 because they told us it starts at 1, and then the width to get from 1 to 2 is simply 1. it's important that you remember to do the click on the value above bar, so it will tell us the frequencies and we can simply type them in. So I'm going to click compute, and there's your nice little histogram. So the frequency for 1 is 12, for 2 is 4, for 3 is 6, for class 4, class 4, the frequency is 3, for class 5 it's 4, for class 6 it's 2, and for class 7 it's 4. So that the frequencies are exactly what I see on top of the bars because we set the beginning, the start at 1, and increase by 1 for each class. Now, looking at their histograms here, we know the first one goes up to 12, so we can automatically eliminate B and D. And so when you look at this one, A looks pretty close, but I can't tell. So I'm going to magnify it, and we see that it goes 12, 4, 6, 3, 4, 2, 4. So this one matches our histogram. So I'm going to click on A. And then our options here for patterns. Obviously, the one with the greatest frequency is 12. That's class 1, has a frequency of 12. That makes sense. The class with the greatest frequency is class 1. The class with the least frequency is class 7. Well, class 7 has 4. The one with the least frequency is class 6, the one with 2 in it. So let's see if we can find that. There it is, part D. The class with the greatest frequency is class 1, and the class with the least frequency is class 6. Now, before I go on to question 2, I need to save my session from StatCrunch. And it's going to save it as statcrunch I'm going to click download. And when I do, it asks me if I want to save that file, and I'm going to say OK. Now you can see, in my case, it went up to my download arrow, and I'm going to open that. And it's in my downloads folder, and it's called StatCrunch Session. And so that I'm going to try to rename it, so that you remember that this is question 1, practice. I'm renaming it so you can see it's question 1, practice .scs. And then I'm going to close that because I know it's been saved. To get ready for question 2, I'm going to open a new data table. And I'm going to go to question 2. In question 2, it says it wants us to construct a scatter diagram. Well, StatCrunch calls that a scatter plot. And we're doing a study of carbon monoxide in cigarettes and comparing the amount of tar to the amount of carbon dioxide. It says use tar for the horizontal scale, or your X value, and carbon monoxide for the vertical scale. The vertical scale, which would be your y-axis. So once again, click the double boxes, copy to clipboard, and when you see this, it's really kind of hard to see where the data is, but you need to click, and I like tab. Do you see it shows them really nice and spread out? And they're shaded, so I'm going to do Control C. Now you notice that the table has labels, tar and CO. So when you go back to StatCrunch, don't click in the white bar box, click in the var box and do Control V so that your labels are up at the top and not in the rows of white. My labels are tar and CO. I'm going to repeat that one more time so that you see it. I'm going to edit, and I'm going to undo the paste. So now they're back to var 1 and var 2. I'm going to come back over here. Oh, they're not shaded anymore, so I got to click on them. And go back and click tab. There we go. I clicked on tar. They all turned blue. Control C. But when I come back over here to StatCrunch, I don't want to be down here. I want to be up in the var because tar and CO are titles. So Control V, the tar and CO stay in the title row, and the data begins in row 1. We want a scatter plot. I'm going to go over here and close that out so I don't have to look at it. I can see my graphs. Go to Graph. This time go to Scatter Plot. The X variable, the horizontal, it told you would be tar, and the Y variable, it told you would be CO, or carbon monoxide. This time, don't connect lines. All they want to see are the points. So you don't connect them, you just look at the points and compute. Now, our axes here doesn't go from 0 to 20. So if you want to edit the x-axis and have it start at 0 and go to 20 so that it looks like the graph here, you can. And if you want the y-axis to go from 0 to 20, you can edit the y-axis using these 3 bars at the bottom. You can edit the x and the y. So when you look at this, which one of these graphs does it look like? Well, we know it's not going down. The dots are going up. The points are going up as the amount of tar increases. So we know it's not A, and we know it's not D because that one's just spread out all over. So let's look at B. Let's enlarge B and see if it looks more like our scatter plot. And you see the 2 little dots and then 2 together, 2 more together with 1 below, and a grouping of 4, a 1 and a grouping of 3. This looks very much like our scatter plot. So it looks like B is our correct answer. Now it asks, is there a relationship between cigarette tar and carbon monoxide? Well, yes, that's true, because as the tar increases, so does the carbon monoxide. That is a positive correlation. So as the amount of tar increases, the amount of carbon monoxide also increases. So I would click that. Now, I still need to save this session before I exit my test, or you can submit your test. Like I could go ahead and submit my quiz, and it's done. Oh, and it told me I got them right. That's nice. But I still need to save this session. I'm going to do download and save. I'm going to go up here and open that folder, and there's StatCrunch session, and I'm going to name this practice question 2. So it's in there. There's practice question 2. Oh, and there's question 1 practice. I did them backwards. But we can look for those 2 files when we upload. So I'm going to just close my downloads. This is fine. I need to go back into my home page, D2L. The next thing you do is go to D2L, go to Dropbox, and you'll see there's practice uploading StatCrunch for session for practice quiz. Now I have to add a file, and it's going to be on my computer. I'm going to go to upload, and I'm going to go over here to downloads, and there's practice quiz 1, practice question 2, and I'm going to hit control and Q1 practice. These are my 2 files. I'm going to open them, and I'm going to make sure that they both showed up, and I'm going to add them. So there they are in my files. I'm going to click submit, and it shows the submitted files. It also shows you're going to get extra credit if you do this. And just click done. And you should receive an email from Temple College saying that you had submitted